The lights flickered, then died. Darkness enveloped the bustling command deck of the Solaris, humanity's crown jewel among the stars. Captain Nora Sinclair braced herself against the sudden stillness, heart pounding. This was no routine power surge. "Report," she barked, her voice cutting through the tense silence. "What happened?" Lieutenant Asha Kapoor's fingers flew across her console, brow furrowed in concentration. "Unknown, ma'am. All systems are offline. Internal and external. We've lost main power and backup generators." Nora's gaze swept the bridge, taking in the tense faces of her crew. They'd trained for situations like this, but the real thing always carried an edge of fear. "Initiate emergency protocols. Get those systems back online, Lieutenant. We need to know what's happening out there." Asha nodded, already directing a team of technicians. Nora turned to the viewport, staring into the inky blackness. The Solaris hung motionless, adrift in the void. No stars, no ships, no sign of the bustling Galactic Alliance fleet they'd been part of just moments ago. "Captain, we have a problem." Asha's voice was tense. "Long-range scanners are down. We're blind out here." Nora felt a chill run down her spine. "Weapons also offline. We're operating on minimal backup power, life support, internal lighting, and communications only." A horrible realization dawned on Nora. "Someone's taken out our systems. We're helpless." The crew exchanged worried glances, the weight of their vulnerability palpable. Nora set her jaw, unwilling to let fear take hold. "Patch me through to the rest of the ship. All hands, this is the captain. We've experienced a major systems failure, but our engineers are working to restore power. Until then, I need you all to remain calm and await further instructions." She turned to Asha. "Any sign of the fleet?" The lieutenant shook her head. "Nothing. It's as if they vanished." Nora felt a knot of dread in her stomach. "Keep trying to reestablish contact. I want eyes and ears out there, Lieutenant. We need to know what's happening." As the crew hurried to follow her orders, Nora stared out into the void, a sick feeling of foreboding settling over her. Whoever had done this, they had the Solaris dead in space. And if the fleet was gone, they were alone. Time crawled by as the Solaris crew fought to restore power. Nora paced the bridge, nerves fraying with each passing minute. The eerie silence was broken only by the occasional barked order and the hum of emergency systems. Finally, Asha looked up from her console, eyes wide. "Captain, we've got something on long-range scanners. It's massive." Nora felt a surge of hope. "The fleet?" Asha shook her head, her face pale. "No, ma'am. It's not Alliance. It's something else." Nora strode to the lieutenant's station, peering at the faint blip on the screen. "Can you get a visual?" "Trying, but power levels are still unstable." "Hold on." Asha's fingers danced across the controls. Slowly, an image began to take shape on the main view screen. Nora's breath caught in her throat. An immense vessel hung in the void, its sleek alien form unlike anything she'd ever seen. Intricate patterns of light danced across its surface, mesmerizing and unsettling. "What the hell is that?" Nora whispered, transfixed. "I'm not sure, but it's definitely not Alliance. The power signature is unlike anything I've ever encountered." Asha's voice was tinged with awe and fear. Nora's mind raced. This was no ordinary ship. Its sheer size and unfamiliar design spoke of a technology far beyond humanity's. And if they'd managed to disable the Solaris so effortlessly. "Hail them," she ordered, steeling herself. "Let's find out who our new friends are." Asha hesitated. "Captain, I'm not sure that's wise. We're barely holding on as it is. If they're responsible for this..." Nora's jaw tightened. "I need to know what we're dealing with, Lieutenant. Open a channel." Asha nodded reluctantly and keyed in the command. Static crackled over the speakers. Then a deep, resonant voice echoed through the bridge. Greetings, humans. You have captured our attention. Nora felt a chill run down her spine at the alien's words. This is Captain Nora Sinclair of the Solaris. To whom am I speaking? I am Xyloth, commander of the Relmarian Armada. You have trespassed in our territory, and for that, you will be punished. Nora's mind raced. Relmarian Armada. She'd never heard of such a force. We didn't know this was your territory. We're simply trying to return to our home system. Can we negotiate a peaceful resolution? A low, rumbling chuckle came through the speakers. There is no negotiation, human. You have aroused our curiosity, and that is a dangerous thing. Your ship will be taken, and your crew will be studied. Nora felt her blood run cold. Studied? What do you mean by that? Your kind is an unknown variable in our plans. We will learn what makes you tick, and then we will decide your fate. The alien's voice carried a note of cold indifference that sent a shiver through Nora. You can't do this. We are a peaceful exploratory vessel, part of the Galactic Alliance. Attacking us would be an act of war. Your alliance means nothing to us. You are trespassers, and you will be dealt with accordingly. The channel went silent, leaving Nora and her crew in stunned silence. Ash's voice was barely above a whisper. Captain, what do we do? Nora clenched her fists, mind racing. Restore power to all systems, Lieutenant. We need to be ready for anything. And hail the fleet again. We need to warn them about this. Relmarian Armada. As the crew sprang into action, Nora stared out at the massive alien vessel, a sense of dread settling over her. Whatever happened next, she knew they were in for the fight of their lives. The crew worked frantically to restore the Solaris systems, but with limited power, progress was slow. Nora paced the bridge, mind churning with possibilities. They had to find a way to warn the Galactic Alliance fleet, but without communications, their options were severely limited. Captain, we've managed to boost our short-range transmissions, but it's still not enough to reach the fleet, Asha reported, her face etched with worry. We're simply too far out of range. Nora's jaw tightened. Keep trying, Lieutenant. There has to be a way. She turned to the viewport, staring at the colossal alien vessel that loomed before them, its lights pulsing with an eerie alien rhythm. What are you waiting for? She murmured. If you wanted to capture us, why haven't you done it already? As if in response, the vast ship began to move, its massive engines flaring to life. Nora braced herself, but the Solaris remained motionless, unaffected by the aliens' approach. They're not attacking, Asha said, her voice tinged with confusion. They're maneuvering around us. Nora felt a surge of hope. Can we use that to our advantage? Maybe we can slip away while they're distracted. Asha shook her head. Negative, Captain. Our engines are still offline. We're dead in the water. Nora cursed under her breath, her frustration mounting. They were trapped, helpless to do anything but watch as the alien vessel encircled them, its vast shadow blotting out the stars. Suddenly, a brilliant flash of light erupted from the alien ship, bathing the Solaris in an eerie glow. Nora shielded her eyes, heart pounding. What the hell was that? Asha's fingers flew across her console, her expression one of stunned disbelief. I don't know, Captain. But it seems to have activated something aboard our ship. Nora whirled to face the viewport, her breath catching in her throat. Beneath the Solaris, a faint glow was beginning to emanate, growing brighter with each passing second. What's happening? She whispered, dread pooling in the pit of her stomach. Asha's eyes widened. I think the Solaris is waking up. Nora felt a surge of both awe and trepidation as the Solaris systems slowly came to life. Lights flickered on across the bridge, and a hum of power permeated the air. Report, she commanded, eyes fixed on the alien vessel as it continued its slow, deliberate orbit. Ash's fingers flew across her console, her expression one of bewilderment. I'm not sure, Captain. It's like the ship is responding to the Relmarian's energy pulse. Systems are rebooting, but I'm detecting power levels far beyond anything we've seen before. Nora felt a glimmer of hope. Can we get weapons back online? Launch a counterattack? The lieutenant shook her head. Negative. Weapons are still dark, but I'm reading massive power surges in the engines and some kind of unconventional propulsion systems. It's like the ship is preparing to. Asha's voice trailed off, her eyes widening in awe. Nora followed her gaze to the viewport, and what she saw made her heart leap into her throat. The Solaris was beginning to move, its massive frame shifting with a grace and speed that defied the laws of physics. The alien vessel seemed to slow, as if caught off guard by the Solaris' sudden burst of activity. What is this? Nora breathed, watching in stunned silence as the Solaris deftly maneuvered around the Relmarian ship, its engines glowing with a brilliant, otherworldly light. I'm not sure, Captain, Asha replied, her voice tinged with wonder. But it's almost as if the Solaris is awakening, responding to the Relmarian's energy pulse in ways we never could have predicted. Nora felt a surge of pride and determination. Then let's give this thing everything we've got. Prepare a full power burn. We're getting the hell out of here. Asha's eyes widened. But, Captain, the fleet. Nora cut her off with a wave of her hand. We can't help them if we're captured or destroyed. Right now, our priority is survival. Get us moving, Lieutenant. Let's see what this ship can really do. As the Solaris surged forward, its engines blazing with a power Nora had never seen, she felt a renewed sense of hope. Perhaps, against all odds, they could escape the Relmarians and live to fight another day. The Solaris hurtled through space, its engines blazing with unearthly power. Nora gripped the arms of her chair, heart pounding as she watched the massive Relmarian vessel rapidly recede in the distance. Status report, Lieutenant, she demanded, eyes fixed on the viewscreen. Ash's fingers danced across her console, her expression one of awe and disbelief. Captain, I'm not even sure where to begin. The Solaris is performing far beyond any of our simulations or projections. Our engines are generating output that should be physically impossible, and I'm detecting some kind of subspace distortion around the ship. Nora felt a chill run down her spine. Subspace distortion. You mean we're not just moving fast, we're bending spacetime? Yes, Asha breathed. It's as if the Solaris is able to manipulate the very fabric of reality. We're traveling at speeds that would rip any other vessel apart, but the ship is holding together. Nora shook her head in disbelief. How is this possible? What did the Relmarians do to us? Asha's brow furrowed in concentration. I'm not entirely sure, but it seems their energy pulse, somehow, activated some kind of dormant system within the Solaris. One that allows us to defy the normal laws of physics. Nora felt a surge of both wonder and trepidation. Can we control it? Can we use this to our advantage? The lieutenant nodded slowly. I believe so, Captain. The systems are stable, and I'm detecting a high degree of maneuverability and responsiveness. If we can harness this power, we may be able to evade the Relmarians and reach the fleet. Nora's jaw tightened with determination. Then that's exactly what we're going to do. Plot a course for the last known coordinates of the Galactic Alliance fleet. We need to warn them about this Relmarian threat. As the Solaris surged forward, Nora felt a surge of hope. Perhaps, against all odds, they had uncovered a hidden strength. A power that could turn the tide against their mysterious alien adversaries. Hang on, everyone, she murmured, her gaze fixed on the endless expanse of stars. We're about to show the Relmarians what humanity is truly capable of. The Solaris hurtled through space, its engines pulsing with power as it defied the very laws of physics. Nora watched the stars blur past, her mind racing with the implications of their newfound abilities. "Lieutenant, any update on the fleet's location?" she asked, her voice taut with urgency. Ash's fingers flew across her console, brow furrowed in concentration. "Scanning. Yes, I've got it. The last known coordinates place the fleet approximately 20 light-years from our current position." Nora's eyes widened. 20 light-years? At our current speed, we can cover that distance in a matter of minutes. Asha nodded, her expression one of awe. "Yes, ma'am. The Solaris is generating power outputs that defy all known principles of propulsion. We're traveling at velocities that would rip any other ship apart, yet the hull is holding together." Nora felt a surge of pride, but also a twinge of unease. This power, it's not natural, is it? The Relmarians did something to us. The lieutenant's gaze grew troubled. "I'm afraid so, Captain. Our sensors indicate that the Solaris is tapping into some kind of subspace manipulation technology. It's as if the very fabric of reality is bending to our will." Nora's jaw tightened. "Can we control it? Will it hold together as we push it to its limits?" Asha hesitated. "I am not sure, ma'am. The power readings are off the charts, and the strain on the ship's systems is immense. If we push too hard, the Solaris could tear itself apart." Nora's mind raced. They had to reach the fleet, to warn them of the Relmarian threat. But at what cost? Could they harness this power without destroying themselves in the process? "Lieutenant, lay in the course and prepare for a full power burn. We have to take the risk. The fleet needs to know what we're up against." Asha's eyes widened, but she nodded firmly. "Aye, Captain. Initiating warp drive sequence. Now." The Solaris surged forward, its engines blazing with an intensity that made Nora's breath catch in her throat. The stars blurred into streaks of light, and the very fabric of space seemed to ripple around them. "Hang on, everyone," Nora murmured, her grip tightening on the armrests of her chair. "We're about to make history." The Solaris rocketed through space, its engines pushing the limits of what was thought possible. Nora watched in awe as the stars blurred into a kaleidoscope of light, the very fabric of reality bending to the will of the ship. "ETA to the fleet's last known coordinates?" she asked, her voice taut with tension. Ash's fingers danced across her console, eyes wide with disbelief. "Approximately 2 minutes, Captain. We're traveling at velocities that defy all logic." Nora felt a surge of both pride and trepidation. Can the Solaris hold together? The lieutenant's brow furrowed in concentration. I'm not sure, ma'am. The power output is beyond anything we've ever encountered. The stress on the hull is immense, and I'm detecting critical systems beginning to overload." Nora's jaw tightened. "We have to keep going. The fleet needs to know about the Relmarians. Maintain full power." Asha's eyes widened, but she nodded firmly. "Aye, Captain." The Solaris surged forward, its engines burning with a blinding intensity. Nora gripped the arms of her chair, her heart pounding as the ship's hull creaked and groaned under the strain. Suddenly, a brilliant flash of light filled the bridge, and the Solaris lurched violently. Nora was thrown against her restraints, the impact knocking the breath from her lungs. "Report," she gasped, her vision blurred by the sudden turbulence. Ash's face was pale, her fingers flying across the console. We've emerged from warp, Captain. But the fleet is gone. There's no sign of them, just debris." Nora felt a sinking feeling in the pit of her stomach. The Relmarians. Asha nodded, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "Yes, ma'am. I'm detecting multiple Relmarian vessels in the area. They must have found the fleet, and—" Her voice trailed off, the implication hanging heavy in the air. Nora clenched her fists, fury and determination surging through her. Then we'll give them a fight they'll never forget. Bring all systems to full power, Lieutenant. We're going to show these Relmarians the true strength of humanity." As the Solaris surged forward, its engines blazing with a power that defied the laws of physics, Nora knew that they were about to face their greatest challenge yet. But with the fate of the Galactic Alliance at stake, she was more determined than ever to prevail.